Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the world has gone completely silent. No birds, no cars, no voices, just you and the wind. Now imagine that after 11 years of this silence, something speaks back. This is the story of Eli Carter, the last human on Earth, and the message that changed everything. The year is 2087. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Some called it the silence event. Others, the Great Disappearance. One day, 8 billion people simply stopped existing. No war, no disease, no explosion. They were just gone. Eli Carter was a radio technician in Denver, Colorado. He was underground, deep in a maintenance tunnel, fixing a broken transmitter when it happened. When he came back to the surface, the streets were empty. Cars frozen mid-drive, meals still warm on tables. A child's bicycle tipped on its side in the middle of the road, but no child. He searched for weeks, then months. He drove across 4 states calling out names into the void. He broadcast signals on every frequency. He left notes on highways. He lit fires visible from miles away. Nothing, no one. After 2 years, Eli stopped looking. After 5 years, Eli stopped hoping. After 11 years, Eli simply existed. He had learned to measure time differently, not by clocks or calendars, but by seasons. 11 winters, 11 springs, each one lonelier than the last. He had stopped counting birthdays because there was no one left to celebrate them with. He had built himself a small life in what used to be Boulder. He grew food. He collected rainwater. He read every book he could find. He talked to himself just to remember what a voice sounded like. Sometimes, late at night, he would sit in front of his radio equipment and broadcast into the silence.
This is Eli Carter. Is anyone out there? I'm in Boulder, Colorado. Please, if you can hear this, respond.
Every night for 11 years. And every night, nothing but static. Then came the Tuesday that changed everything. It was early April. Eli had been awake since 4 a.m., unable to sleep. Something felt different. He couldn't explain it. A tension in the air like the moment before a storm. The night before the Tuesday, Eli had a dream. He dreamed of voices, of crowds, of noise, of a world full of people. He woke up crying. He didn't know why. He would understand soon. He was sitting at his radio station, drinking coffee made from roasted dandelion roots. When it happened, the radio crackled. Not the usual static, not the white noise he had learned to ignore. This was different, structured, deliberate. And then, a voice.
Eli Carter. Do you read us? This is Station Omega. We found your signal. Eli, you are not alone. But before we make contact, there is something you need to know.
Eli's coffee cup hit the floor. His hands were shaking so badly he could barely reach the transmit button. After 11 years of silence, after 11 years of grief and loneliness, so deep it had become a part of him, a voice. He pressed the button. His own voice came out as barely a whisper.
Hello? Hello, I'm here. I'm in Boulder. Who is this? Where are you? Oh, God. Where are you?
The voice on the radio was calm, almost too calm. A woman, clear diction, no emotion.
Eli, my name is Dr. Reyes. I'm speaking to you from Station Omega, an underground facility located 3,000 feet beneath the Nevada desert. There are 47 of us here. We have been listening to your broadcasts for 9 years.
9 years. She had heard him for 9 years. Eli felt a wave of something he had forgotten. Something between rage and relief.
Why didn't you respond? Why did you wait 9 years?
Because, Eli, we needed to be sure.
Dr. Reyes began to explain. Station Omega was a classified government research facility. They had been underground when the silence event occurred. They had detected 11 other survivors in the first months, but one by one those signals had gone silent, all except Eli.
You're different, Eli. We've been studying your broadcasts, your biology, your patterns. There is something about you that we don't understand yet. Something that may explain why you survived when no one else did.
What do you mean, my biology? How could you study my biology from underground?
Eli, we have drones. We have been watching you for a very long time.
The realization hit him like ice water. He had never been alone. All these years, the strange shadows at dusk, the feeling of being watched that he had dismissed as paranoia, the times he was sure he heard something moving in the dark. He hadn't been imagining it.
You were watching me. This whole time. You were watching me and you never said anything.
We couldn't risk it. If you had known about us, your behavior would have changed. We needed to observe you in your natural state. Eli, what you've built up there, alone, what you've endured, it goes beyond human psychological limits. You shouldn't be functioning. By every model we have, you should have broken down within the first 3 years. But you didn't, and we need to understand why. Because if we can understand why you survived, we may be able to bring humanity back.
11 years of loneliness, 11 years of grief, and now this woman was telling him that his suffering had been an experiment, that he had been a lab rat in a cage the size of a continent. He should have been furious, but instead, one thought rose above everything else: bring humanity back.
How? How is that possible?
We don't know yet. That depends on you. On what we find when we study you properly. There's only one way to find out. We need you to come to us.
Eli stood at the window for a long time after the transmission ended. Outside, the city that had been his prison and his home for 11 years stretched out in silence. The world was broken and beautiful and completely, utterly still. And somewhere beneath the Nevada desert, 47 people waited for his answer. He thought about the 9 years of silence, about being watched without his knowledge, about the word she had used, experiment. Could he trust her? Should he go? And beneath all of it, the question that kept rising: if they had drones, if they had been watching him for 9 years, why did they wait until now to make contact? What had changed? Follow Final Chapter for Episode 2. The journey to Station Omega begins, and the truth is darker than the silence. What had changed?